Hey, it's Mike from Intermittent Fasting for the Win. Welcome to the Winner's Circle. This is where I have live Facebook chats with people who doing intermittent fasting or just getting started or have been on it for years. And we discuss everything about it and just have a wonderful time. I hope you'll join me today for this one. It's going to be special. And I'll talk to you again at the end. Wendy, welcome to the Winner's Circle.
Thank you,
And
sir.
let's get started. Give me about a 5 minute synopsis of your journey. If
Of
you
my
can do it in
journey.
five, yeah, do it. You can
I
do
think
it.
I can.
Okay,
I
go
think I
for it.
can.
Go for it.
Well, I pretty much struggled with my weight my whole life. The first time I was put on a diet, I was 11 years old.
I can't imagine
And
that.
yeah, and I came from a family that, were lots of, there were a lot of overweight people that had health issues that were weight related, diabetes, heart disease, depression, you name it. All those things are weight related, health related. And so I think I was genetically predisposed for being overweight. I never developed like type 2 diabetes, but I bet that I was insulin resistant most of my life,
You
as
probably were.
especially with the amount of yo-yo dieting that I did.
Yeah.
Um, I reached my goal weight a number of times. I did Weight Watchers, I did Jenny Craig, I did every fad diet out there. And then and usually within around a 50 pound span.
Yeah.
I would lose, gain, lose, gain. I probably lost hundreds and hundreds of pounds over my lifetime. And then in my 30s, I had a bit of a nervous breakdown and and suffered from depression for major depression for like 2 solid years. And
Wow.
during that time, I isolated in my house and just avoided people, which, as you know, I'm a very extroverted person, so that was
Very.
not
Yeah.
like me at all. And
Are you
I
sure
try.
we weren't? Are you sure me and you weren't separated at birth?
We might have been. I mean, you are my big bro, right? You're my big
Yeah.
bro. That's
Yeah.
what I call you. Um, but during that time, those 2 years where I isolated and kind of hid in my house, I binge ate a lot to kind of numb and stuff down all of the emotions that I was feeling. Um, Kind of just hoping that they would resolve themselves on their own, which of course they never do. You have to do the work. You got to go to
That's
therapy.
right.
You got to get your heart right. You got to, confess all the things and ask for help and do the work.
You got to
And
get your heart right, and then your head can get right.
yeah,
That's
and for me that was how it worked. Um, you know, I've talked about this some before in my own group, and as I retell my story, it's kind of become my one of my mantras as far as a health goal, a health journey is concerned, is that you can't hate your way to health.
that's
Um,
right.
you can't hate yourself and want to be better to you to yourself. It has to start from a place of deep love and compassion, in order to do the things that you need to do to take care of yourself.
I agree.
Because otherwise it's just punishment. And when we can reframe and change the way that our motivations behind wanting to take care of ourselves, that is where true transformation happens, I think. So
Yeah.
for me, um, so it was about 10 years that after I had gained a lot of weight, and so I gained over 100 pounds, like in a few years' time, which, and then when I came out of my depression, it was like, what happened to this body of mine? I mean, yes, I had always, yo-yoed, but I had never been morbidly obese. And so then I started, like, I know what to do. I've dieted my whole life. I know all about nutrition. I know what to do. It's just actually doing it. And so I started to do what I thought I would do in the past, and it was not working. And I would lose a little, then gain it back and gain more. And so I yo-yoed for a good while before I decided, um, upon a very sweet and loving suggestion from my sister, to have bariatric surgery, which is not the route that I would tell people to go now, but is part of my story. And I don't regret it because it helped get me to where I am today. Um, but I had gastric bypass surgery in 2017, and I lost about 80 pounds in that first year, which is very mild, actually. It's moderate,
Yeah,
because
it is.
I was scared of the rapid weight loss that can come with weight loss surgery. Um, and so I didn't follow protocol quite religiously. And so I have some issues because of that, which you've heard me talk about before,
Yeah,
the dumping
the
syndrome that I
dumping
have.
syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I lost 80 pounds. Sorry, this is going longer than 5 minutes. Um, I lost 80 pounds in that first year. And that's basically what you get with weight loss surgery. You get a year of surgery weight loss.
Hmm.
Um, and then after that, it's you better have changed your lifestyle and made new habits, because if you go back to what you were doing before, you will regain the weight. It's not a magic cure. Um,
And I have friends who that has happened
yeah.
to.
So yeah, we all know people that that has happened to.
Yeah.
Um, and so the second year, I struggled to lose another 20 pounds, and I started doing keto. And then, and I had some success, doing like a ketogenic diet. And then I met my husband in the fall of 2018, and we got married 3 months later in
Now,
March.
did he sweep you off your feet, or did you sweep him off of his feet?
It was a mutual sweeping.
Was it?
Uh, yeah,
That's
it was
good.
actually. We have a really cute story that doesn't have anything to do with my weight loss, but we went to junior high together. He had a crush on me in seventh grade, but got married. Went on and but was a super shy kid. Got married, had two kids, was divorced like 12 years earlier, prior to us reconnecting. Um, and when he found me on social media and said, "Do you remember me from school?" And I was like, "Nope." And he was like, "Well, I was kind of a quiet kid, but I had a crush on you in junior high." And I was like, "In junior high, I was really awkward, like not a cute little girl." I was like, "I was kind of dorky looking." And he said the sweetest thing. He said, "I just remember you were always really nice to me. You were
There
always
you
nice to
go.
me."
There you go.
And and so he had remembered me all that time, reached out to me, found me, we connected immediately, got married 3 months later. And then in that first year of marriage, I gained back 20 pounds. And I was like, uh-oh, I got to nip this in the bud, because I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this yo-yo thing anymore. And I brought somebody back into my life who likes to eat carbs, and carbs don't work with me, and keto and my dumping syndrome and all that. So I got to figure this out. And I found intermittent fasting in March of 2020, right before the world shut down with the pandemic. And for me, it was a lifesaver because it gave me something to focus on during that time, where people were home gaining 15 pounds, baking sourdough bread and being stuck at home. I was living religiously by my fasting timer, and having huge success. And so 8 months later, I had finally reached my goal and lost 130 pounds, and have been maintaining between 130, 135-ish for the last 4 years.
That's awesome.
There you go.
That's awesome.
It
Well,
is
listen,
awesome.
I've got today I posted this, okay, and you commented on it, and I
Uh-huh.
posted, if you eat junk, you'll crave junk.
We sure
So
will.
tell me why that is.
Well, our bodies, we were led to believe for so long by the diet industry that like it was about calories.
Yeah,
That as long as we stayed within a certain amount of calories, we could lose weight. We could maintain our weight, and then it was about macros, like meeting certain macros, like with keto for sure.
yeah,
You want this high fat, low carb diet. What we're learning more and more, though, is that our bodies really crave nutrients.
yes,
And the more we give our bodies whole, nutrient rich foods, the more we will be satiated when we eat. And it will take care of that craving, because when we're eating junk, our body is not recognizing it as food. It's
no,
not
it's
it's
not.
not it's not recognizing it as
It's
nutrition. So it
it's
it
it's
totally screws with our satiety signals.
it's a manufactured product. It's
Yes.
not food. It's a
No.
manufactured product.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I,
yes.
along the same line, along the same line, but but you talk about, and you've got all the glucose hacks posted on your thing,
Uh-huh.
and you're the one who introduced me to eggs and cabbage,
Eggs and
egg
cabbage.
eggs
Yes.
eggs and veggies, and I
Yep.
never would have thought of that, but
Mm-hmm.
it works.
Yes.
It satiates you, and it
Uh,
keeps you satiated for quite some time
mm-hmm.
along those same lines. Okay. And this is the part of where you eat what you eat in the correct order. Okay.
Right.
This is where we're
Yes.
going. This is where we're
Okay.
going.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going to
So
talk
hold
about
on.
hacks. Okay.
Now, so now for some serious questions from the gallery.
I'm
Okay.
ready. I'm ready.
Tweedledee writes, Wendy, can I break my fast with a Klondike bar?
Well, you can. I mean, whatever you eat is going to break your fast, yes, but you are going to make yourself miserable for your whole eating window if you break your fast with sugar. You just
Okay.
will. Because
Which,
what will happen, let me explain the science behind what will happen. All during your fast, your insulin level has been low, 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 right?
yes.
So that you've gotten into fat burning mode. So you do not have insulin circulating in your bloodstream. If you hit it with just a sugar bomb
Bam.
first thing, your glucose, whoo, through the roof is going to spike. And then what will happen is your body's going to try to catch up, and it's going to do an insulin dump into your bloodstream, which will then cause this spike to plummet.
Yes.
And 2 hours, 3 hours after you've eaten, you're hungry again, you're craving again.
And you want
If
to
you're
take a
me,
nap.
if yeah, if you're me, you're having a hypoglycemic episode too, which is
Mm-hmm.
really, really not fun. But the average person will hit a slump, start craving more carbs, because
Yes.
if you give your body glucose, it wants more glucose. Glucose is our body's preferred energy
It's
source.
because
And so,
it's because you flipped the switch
and you
from
flipped it
from
hard.
fat burning to glucose burning.
Yes.
You, you flipped it
Yep.
with that Klondike bar.
Yes, you did.
But now hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. This is two-part question.
Okay.
Okay. So Doolally writes, wait a minute. We can have Klondike bars? Wendy,
Absolutely.
Wendy, I want a Klondike bar too. I have a 4-hour window. When should I eat my Klondike bar?
Well, I would say you're going to want to do that last. You're going to want to
I,
end it.
I, I told you you were going to love these questions.
I do. I love them. I love them. You're going to want to open your window with something savory. I mean, even if you do have carbs to open your window, pair them with some good protein and fat and fiber. so that you're getting a good balanced, nutrient dense meal. Um, some of the hacks, which are part of the glucose. Oh, sorry, losing my ear. Um, Glucose Revolution. That's the book that I got these
Yes.
from, which I love. Um, but the hacks that she explains and details out, she gives all of the scientific data behind why they work. If you
She's got a
open,
wonderful, wonderful
yeah,
YouTube channel too.
yes, she
Yeah.
does. If you eat your food in a specific order, starting with your fiber first, so like your green, leafy, cruciferous vegetables, basically any vegetable works great. You're gonna fill up your stomach and your sink before it drains down into the pipe of your intestines, coating your intestines with this fibrous material that helps it from absorbing all of the carbohydrates super fast. So it
Yep.
slows down that spike, right? Um, so that's the first hack. Second hack is have a savory breakfast, because if you're not having something sweet, you're not kicking off the cravings for the day. You're not setting off that roller coaster of like, ooh, I had something sweet, now I want something sweet again, I'm craving it again. So my goal always is to open my window well, to get in some good nutrient dense foods. Then later on in the window, I may have some starchy or sugary carbs with dinner, some garlic bread, some mashed potatoes, some French fries or whatever as a side dish. And then I'll have dessert at the end.
There you go. That's when the Klondike bar comes in.
So what would you do for a Klondike bar? You eat your veggies.
There you go. All right. We also talked about, you were the one that turned me on to mixing the veggies and eggs. And
Yes.
listen, that's been one of the, I've done videos on it.
I've
I'm
seen
right.
your cooking videos.
Yeah, I'm writing that cookbook, and it's got eggs and veggies and egg. I've got eggs paired with a lot of things in that cookbook so far.
Hmm.
But you
Oh, I
also
should
talk.
I should send you my eggs in purgatory recipe.
Yes, you should.
Yeah,
Yes, you should do it.
I will.
And you talk also about within the confines of a meal, mixing all of your stuff. Like if you're going to have a big salad, have some meat, and eating, and the importance of eating things paired with each other. And that brings me to something this, one of the best ways to mix a whole lot of things so that you get the fibers, you get the proteins and all of that, is to make a big old pot of soup.
Oh, soup is great. Yeah.
Soup is
Yeah.
awesome, and it's coming
Yeah.
up on that time of year
It
when so
is.
many people
Yes.
say it's getting
Yeah.
cold, I want to make a pot of soup. This is something to think about, and I've got a
Hmm.
couple of people on my group. They're continually posting pictures of some soup that they had, and it just, I love soup. Vicky
I know.
makes
I can't
wonderful.
wait. I can't wait for
Oh
some
God.
cooler weather for some good
Yeah.
good
So,
hearty soups.
so that's a good suggestion. So I want to ask you this other question. And I ask this, and I plan on asking this to everybody that I interview. Okay.
Okay.
So you're the second person to answer this for me. Did you see the interview with my sweet Courtney?
I sure
Gosh,
did.
she's a treasure.
She's an angel. I love
She
her.
is. What is one thing that you would say to someone who is brand new to intermittent fasting?
Um, I I would say let go of the idea that you need instant gratification, that you need to see immediate results, because
Well, that's
everybody
good.
because
That's
everybody
good.
is different. I mean, you lost super fast in the beginning, but women, number one, our bodies just function differently and we don't always lose weight right away. You have no idea what's going on internally that needs to do some healing, which your body will prioritize first before fat burning. It's going to take care of whatever preventative work it needs to do to get you feeling better and your body functioning better. Um, Along with that, anything worth having is worth waiting for.
But
Anything
see,
worth,
you just knocked it out of the park when you talked about, yeah, I lost an incredible amount of weight really fast on this thing, but my weight loss has slowed down some now. Okay.
mm-hmm,
And
yeah,
that's what it's
mm-hmm,
natural. It's
it is.
natural. And I just have to be patient. But most women are not going to have that rapid falling off like I did.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's where me as being the administrator and whatever of a group, sometimes I don't know what to say to the ladies,
sure,
and that's
sure.
that's where I depend on people like you and Amy Jo, and y'all can come in and just say, hey,
Yeah, but you're a super empathetic and compassionate guy, and especially now, like as you're going to be further along in your journey, you know, now is going to become now is going to be the time where you really start the pacing of a marathon, you know,
yeah,
because you started off sprinting, and then your body was like, I can't keep up this pace,
yeah,
you know,
that's right.
and but I want to keep working for you, so we got to slow things down, you
Yeah,
know. And so you're going to gain some experience and understanding of what it feels like to have to be patient, to have to do the work, trusting the process, which is something that Jen says a lot.
hmm,
That you stick you stay consistent and you trust the process. You work to find that sweet spot where your body is losing between a pound a week, and on average. So that may not mean that
hmm,
you lose a pound every week, but on
yes.
average, you're losing a pound a week.
and
So
that and that's
sometimes,
what i'm
yeah,
that's what I'm doing right now.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
about an average of a pound, and
yeah,
I have to thank you for putting it in this big old thick head that I have to do an average instead of a daily,
yeah,
oh, I'm up, oh,
yes,
I'm down.
yes.
Yeah,
Well, it because it saves us from two things. It saves us from getting discouraged, number one, when we're thinking, oh gosh, I'm going fluctuating like this, up, down, up, down, up, down. But over the week, it's actually a trend of going down because it was up 2 pounds, down 3 pounds, up 1 pound, down 2 pounds, up 1 pound. You know, like
yeah,
and next thing you know, you're actually trending down. Then on the reverse of that, it keeps us from getting cocky when we have a big loss on the scale, and it keeps us from getting discouraged when we see a gain,
yeah.
because ultimately it's never as good as we thought it was, and it's also never as bad as we thought it was when we put in when we do a 7-day average.
Okay, final question.
Okay,
Are you
final
ready?
question. I'm so ready.
This is one more of the one
Okay,
thing that you would say to someone, and this is to help other people who have to answer this question.
okay.
One thing that you would say to someone who looks you right dead in the face and say, listen, that fasting is not good for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, then explain to me why I feel better than I have in my entire life, and I'm 50 years old, and I have more energy than I did when I was 25. And I wake up every day alert and no brain fog or sluggishness when I'm, fasting regularly. Explain to me why I have been able to maintain 130-pound weight loss for 4 years when I've never been able to maintain more than a year my whole entire life, that I've been on countless diets, have calorie counted, macro counted, and I don't do any of that anymore. I have full freedom,
That's the complete, concise answer right there.
right?
It's like I say, you you can talk all day with somebody who has an argument, but you can't talk all day with somebody who has an experience, because that
This is
experience is
it.
going to knock you in the head
Yeah,
every time. Yeah,
yeah. It just, it's one of those things. It's like uh, y- a naysayer cannot talk you out of what you know to be true for you.
that's right.
And by the grace of God, we are here and getting better and better every day and feeling this gift that has been given to us, living this lifestyle, has changed my life.
It
And
changed so many others too.
yeah, it's
So
changed my
many,
life.
so
Yeah.
many.
And I
Listen,
got to meet you.
listen, this has been wonderful. And we'll have to do it again sometime. We
I
really
would love
will.
it. I would love that.
Yeah, well, I gotta work the rounds. I gotta get Jeline in there. I gotta get Amy Joe in there. I
Yes.
gotta get Paige is watching right now. I see him
Yes, you sure
watching.
do.
Yeah, I gotta get Paige in there. And if I could talk Sheila into it, I'll
I
get her
love
on there. I
Sheila.
love her
Look at you
to
guys.
death. Oh, you got them.
These are my Christmas ornaments that Mike made me. These are the Snowmigos.
The Snow Migos.
Shorty,
Yes,
Jim Bob,
yes.
and Sam.
Oh, listen, it has been a real treasure. I'm going to
I
go
love.
ahead and we're going to wrap this thing up, and then I'll post it. And
Okay.
do you want me to share it over to your group?
Yeah, share it on my group too.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. And I'll see you next time right here on the Winner's Circle.